These are sperm whales, the largest predators on the entire planet. They drift at the surface like massive living boulders, as if placed there for some ritual in the middle of the open ocean. And to be clear, they are not the largest whales in the ocean, but there is a massive difference between being the largest and being the most feared. Even orcas, whose name is pretty ironic, won't dare attack a fully grown sperm whale. They are simply outclassed, not just by size, but by intelligence, by strategy, and by abilities no other predator on Earth possesses. They survive in every ocean on the planet, in depths no other air-breathing animal would ever attempt. Every legendary tale of sailors battling giant whales at sea, all of them trace back to this one creature. When a sperm whale begins its hunt and sends its echolocation out through the ocean, every other animal nearby goes completely silent. What makes these whales so terrifying that even other apex predators keep their distance? How does a mammal that still needs to breathe air manage to survive in the deepest parts of the ocean? And why does it seem like no matter how deep or how dark something hides, a sperm whale will always find it? To understand how these animals dominate the ocean so effortlessly, you first need to grasp the scale of what we're dealing with. A male sperm whale can reach 60 feet in length and weigh over 50 tons. Picture a parking lot full of cars, every spot taken. Now put them all on a scale. The sperm whale still weighs more, but its most remarkable stat isn't its body weight, it's its brain weight. It possesses the largest brain of any animal that has ever lived on this earth, about 5 times heavier than the human brain. There's a common misconception that whales are slow, gentle giants, peaceful, floating clouds drifting through the sea. But sperm whales are not passive, they are active, tactical predators. They can reach speeds of nearly 20 miles per hour, which for an animal that weighs as much as 10 elephants combined is a terrifying amount of momentum. And while they're famous for battles with giant squid, they don't only eat squid, they are opportunistic, taking down sharks and large deep-sea fish, essentially anything big enough to be worth the effort. They have no fixed home, because they occupy every ocean on Earth wherever the water is deep enough. From the frozen Antarctic to the tropical currents near the equator, the sperm whale is the one constant apex predator you'll find everywhere. That makes them built for any environment, including the very bottom of the ocean. Most marine mammals are limited to the upper few hundred feet of water, where light still reaches. The sperm whale routinely dives past 3,000 feet and has been recorded at depths beyond 10,000 feet. At that depth, the water pressure exceeds 4,500 pounds per square inch. Instant death for virtually everything else. Even blue whales, nearly 3 times as heavy, max out at around 1,600 feet. That makes the sperm whale one of the only animals on Earth capable of surviving both at the surface and in the absolute depths. You are either a creature of the sunlight or a creature of the void. You don't get to be both. Living at the surface means you need lungs, basically large, fragile balloons filled with air. Creatures that live in the deep sea are pressurized from the inside out, matched to the crushing weight of the water around them. When a deep-sea fish gets brought to the surface, it expands from the inside out. Tissues swell, organs can fail. A blobfish looks like a sad, melting pile of goo on land because it was never supposed to be there. To survive down there, the sperm whale essentially has to cheat at physics. While every other air breather is held back by fragile lungs, the sperm whale's ribcage is flexible. It's built to collapse rather than fight the pressure. The lungs simply fold flat to keep them from rupturing. That sounds like a catastrophic injury. For the sperm whale, it's just a Tuesday. Unlike us, it doesn't store most of its oxygen in its lungs. Down there, that would only be a liability. It has enormous quantities of a protein called myoglobin, which holds onto oxygen with an extraordinary grip. This allows it to switch off its respiratory system and enter a low-power state for over 90 minutes. But even if you survive the pressure and don't need much air, you're now floating in pitch-black nothingness with no idea what's lurking around you. For the sperm whale, that's not a problem. Nothing down there wants to eat it. Nothing can. Because the deep ocean holds a massive, untouched caloric jackpot. Deep in the abyss, there's a food source no other predator on Earth can reach, specifically giant squid and colossal squid. For any other animal, a 40-foot squid with rotating hooks on its tentacles is a nightmare. No deep-sea predator can compete with it. By evolving the ability to dive 3 times deeper than a blue whale, the sperm whale secured a monopoly on the largest food source in the ocean. But even if you're big enough to ignore the predators and tough enough to ignore the pressure, you're still navigating a 50-ton animal through absolute nothingness. Instead, it turned its entire face into the most powerful sonar system on the planet. This is the spermaceti organ, a massive structure filled with thousands of gallons of specialized oil, taking up nearly a third of the whale's entire body. When a sperm whale is hunting, it produces a rapid series of clicks. But calling them clicks is like calling a jet engine a whisper. A jet taking off sits at around 150 decibels. 180 decibels is enough to permanently rupture human eardrums. 230 decibels is loud enough to kill a human being through vibration alone. It is the loudest sound ever produced by any living creature in the history of the world. When the whale sends these pulses out, they travel through the water like an acoustic searchlight. The sound waves bounce off the squid's body and return to the whale, delivering a high-definition 3D map of exactly where the prey is, how fast it's moving, and how large it is. A squid can be perfectly camouflaged, completely motionless, invisible in total darkness. To the sperm whale's sonar, it might as well be standing under a neon sign. This sound is so powerful that researchers believe the whale can use it as a weapon. By narrowing the beam, it may be able to blast prey with a concentrated pulse of acoustic energy, stunning or even paralyzing a squid before it's even touched. It hunts with a biological sound cannon, using shockwaves in water as ammunition. Giant and colossal squid are genuinely dangerous opponents. For most animals, a 40-foot invertebrate with rotating bone hooks is the stuff of nightmares. We know these battles happen, not because anyone has ever watched one, since they take place miles below the surface, but because the whales carry the physical evidence. Nearly every adult sperm whale is covered in massive scars, giant circular welts on the head and body, carved by the saw-edged suckers of a giant squid. Some whales carry deep gashes from the pivoting bone hooks of the colossal squid. Fortunately for the sperm whale, it is so massive and its skin so thick that it can literally afford to ignore a monster trying to tear its face off. Inside the stomachs of sperm whales, scientists have found thousands of hard, indigestible squid beaks. Some individual whales have been found with over 18,000 beaks in their stomach at once. The kraken, the sea monster that terrified sailors for centuries, is, in reality, a prey species. It is being harvested by the thousands by a mammal that decided the dark was nothing to be afraid of. But the real terror isn't just their size. It's the fact that they are actually thinking. They arrange themselves in a wide circle, heads pointed inward, massive tail flukes pointed out. The calves are tucked safely in the center, protected by a living wall of 40 tons per animal. Even the wolves of the sea aren't foolish enough to challenge that. They have turned the most hostile environment on the planet into their own private guarded pantry. For nearly 20 million years, the sperm whale has been the primary apex predator of the deep sea. When a predator dominates a world for that long, the entire ecosystem begins to bend around it. This is called evolutionary memory. The fear of a specific predator becomes written into the DNA of everything else. If you are a squid, your entire existence is basically a desperate attempt to stay off a sonar screen. The ink, the hooks, the camouflage, all part of a 20-million-year arms race that the squid are still very clearly losing. Many species actively avoid certain deep-water trenches, not because the water is too cold, but because sperm whales have been hunting there since long before humans could walk upright. It is a learned trauma passed down through countless generations, and the ocean doesn't fear the sperm whale only because of its size or its sound. It fears it because for 20 million years, the sperm whale has been the only thing in the dark that doesn't have to hide. Beaked whales live in a state of acoustic paranoia, performing silent dives, avoiding the exact frequencies where sperm whales hunt. They are playing a high-stakes game of don't make a sound, where the one searching is a 50-ton biological radar. Orcas, when they hear the distinctive rhythmic clicking of a bull sperm whale, go completely silent. They shut down their own vocalizations to avoid being detected. When those clicks begin, the rest of the ocean gets very, very quiet. A silence born not from respect, but from survival. Because in the deep, everything is a trade-off. To be fast, you usually have to be small. To be big, you're usually slow. But the sperm whale is massive, fast, and smarter than almost everything else in the water.